Japan's growth of military influence in 1932. During this time, there was a development of two military factions to replace the government in Japan. One of these factions was the Kodaha, or imperialist faction. This faction was one of the more radical ones. They believed in a military dictatorship that would deliver state socialism. They also believed that the Soviet Union was their enemy, and they preferred national spirit over militaristic force. The other faction was the Tosei-ha, or moderate faction. They believed in legal means for influencing their government. They had a good relationship with the Soviets, and they believed in modernizing their army. There were three major assassination plots. Prime Minister Inukai was shot and killed in May of 1932. Admiral Saito's government favored the Kodaha faction, and after an assassination plot was discovered, he promoted a Tosei-ha member to Minister of War. Then, in July of 1934, Okada took over, and he promoted the idea that the army should control the economy. A Kodaha officer assassinated the leader of Tosa-ha, General Nagata, because a Kodaha minister was sacked for not controlling his officers. The assassin was tried and executed. And in revolt, 1,500 soldiers marched into Tokyo as protest in parliament buildings, war offices, and the prime minister's residence, and police headquarters, and murdered many officials. This discredited the Kodaha, and the Tosa-ha were mostly involved in developing army planning and having it take firmer control of the economy. Sino-Japanese War started July 7, 1937. The Japanese fought hard with more air raids, and they terrorized the Chinese refugees to move inland. The Chinese government moved the capital to Nanjing, but abandoned it as the Japanese moved in. Nanjing gave in to the Japanese on December 13, 1937. For almost 7 weeks after the Japanese entered, they tortured the civilians of Nanjing. About 30,000 females were raped, many of whom died after numerous assaults. About 12,000 civilians were brutally murdered, and about 30,000 refugee soldiers were murdered, and there was an array of robbery and arson going on.